you are in a hurry and you want to use generative artificial intelligence to increase the revenues you get from your auctions activity. Think twice. This person said that the data contains thousands of cells of data that you can see with the JASP interface. They specify they are actions that happen daily. And here he writes the, I believe, main objective that I find not clear at all. I'm trying to find which auctions have the best value. And then he goes on and he asks for key performance indicators, something that are more related to a dashboard. In the second phase, he also asked to develop a script to connect to eBay to use a percentage of retail value as starting price. So in my understanding, he wants, I underline my, he wants to predict the total retail cost. So another person or a script can set a percentage of that retail cost as a starting price. This is my understanding from a statistical point of view. If we do this inside Jasper, with the tools we have, in a also quick way, we start from a descriptive statistic of the target variable, we can call it value, that is total retail. You could already think, Gabriele, why are you showing me such technical and boring stuff? Because if we see the distribution plot of the target variable, it doesn't look like something we can work with without a specific measure. It doesn't look like a normal distribution. If we go to do the model with such variable, we can't have satisfying results without the measure I mentioned, that is a transformation. But let's say I want to do a model anyway that predicts that value. The most reasonable to me variables are category and the condition. And we explain less than 60% of that price. That is much if we consider the problem I spotted immediately. But we have to take with a pinch of salt such result because the first problem I showed you isn't the only one. With my surprise, none of the conditions are statistically significant because you see we have no value below 0.05, something that we have for some of the category. So if we remove this variable, we see that the amount we explain remains the same. That is a strong symptom of what I said before. That variable is useless. Another variable that I used as weight is item package weight. See that if we put it as weight, we explain this amount, that it is again near 60%. If we move it as variable, we explain less. So it is better to use this as a weight. That is an advanced way to have a quantitative statistical model, also called linear regression. The problem is that with this model that seems reasonable, we have many problems that we see with the chart that basically repeats what I said here. But I made this on JASP because I was not in a hurry. If I were in a hurry and I wanted to use generative artificial intelligence, things gets worse because generative artificial intelligence isn't much skilled with statistical analysis, even at the end of 2025. I tried to use 5, I repeat, 5 different generative artificial intelligences, and in my opinion, the most correct one, if we want to stay on a very diplomatic level, was Gemini. To Gemini, I wrote, I want to predict the variable total retail because I'm trying to find which actions have the best value. This is a very, as I said, confusing request from my point of view, but not from the point of view of the possible user. Please help me. Top predictor variables, description and subcategory. So I agree, half. Then Correctly, it spots the variable I also used but as weight, and then condition. And we saw that condition was not significant. Then a totally misleading variable, but it gives like an intelligence hint more than a statistical one. So out of those 5 variables, just one was right. And it didn't even say nothing about the nature of the target variable. That is the most serious mistake. Then it gives the regression strategy, something I showed you, and then it jumps immediately to the most advanced model, something that in the past returned more in this channel. And this was the most correct result. On Claude you can't do the same because you can't upload CSV files if you don't pay. I tried with Excel but it failed. On Qwen it correctly says category, as I did, item weight, and then fatal flaw, original cost. It is like putting in the model the answer already. So we could stop here immediately. Then I tried Grok with the K, the model that comes from Elon Musk, we can say. Here, it didn't even understand the question, in my understanding, because it just does the math from a purely descriptive point of view. So we can discard this. Then I tried Perplexity, and it says the target variable strongly correlates with unit retail. I stop for a moment. Perplexity, in my opinion, is the most, was and still is the most kept and obvious model in how it answers. It is extremely defensive. Instead of saying something potentially false, it gives you the most useful true information. Then total cost, same as Qwen, useless, and correctly the item weight. All the rest is basically useless. So, as I said, out of 4 different artificial intelligences, generative, just Gemini was the most correct. Most correct doesn't mean useful.